Special edition June 23, 2023 War of Ukrainian Liberation, 9 years and 4 months. By now you've probably heard there seems to be infighting in the Kremlin circle. We'll provide a bit of what we have gathered. Like and subscribe. Yevgeny Prigozhin is often vaunted as the founder and leader of Wagner. This is likely incorrect in fact, as Dmitry Utky, a special forces officer in the GRU, is said to have been the originator of the idea and the first employee. Utky, who fought in Syria, used the call sign Wagner in homage to the renowned German composer and was said to have created the mercenary group after his deployment completed. However, it is the presence of Putin's personal cook, Prigozhin, which likely allowed Wagner its foothold as more than one guy doing a bodyguard service. Yevgeny was born in Leningrad, Russia, Soviet Union, in 1961. His Jewish father died while Yevgeny was still young. His stepfather was a cross-country ski instructor, and young Prigozhin was enrolled in an athletics boarding school, graduating in 1977. At 18, in 1979, he was arrested for stealing, and at 20, in 1981, he was arrested again and given a 12-year sentence for corruption of youth among other charges. Pardoned in 1988, he was finally released in 1990. Now, let your narrator break in here. This seems like rather unusual an outcome. How does a young man, in jail for a crime he was caught doing, get pardoned? This sounds like a political favor, suggesting that young Prigozhin's family was not poor. Upon release, it was said that the new Mr. Prigozhin went to work selling hot dogs at a flea market. He was so good at it, that he suddenly had more money than his mother could keep track of. Mr. Prigozhin must have been a great cook to sell minced meat sausages so successfully. 1 year later the Soviet Union collapsed, and Mr. Prigozhin was young and exploitative of his surroundings at the right time. With his history of organizing crimes, Mr. Prigozhin took to the free market and started running a grocery store. Soon he branched into professional gambling tourism in St. Petersburg. At that time, the new establishments were required to give 51% of all profits to the city coffers. Somehow, these poor houses only showed losses, even through the years that a certain deputy mayor Vlad Putin was in service. Through the years between then and now, he opened a first-class restaurant in St. Petersburg. Putin, now president of the Russian Federation, served diplomatic who's who at New Island restaurant, including President George W. Bush and General Colin Powell. By 2012, Prigozhin was signing contracts for billions of dollars of services to the Russian military. So, if we can speculate, here comes the war hero of Syria, GRU special operator Utky, looking to start a mercenary group, but needing funds. And here is Prigozhin, flush with cash, contracts, and contacts. Wagner got a name in Africa doing combat and counter-rebellion work for the Central African Republic, CAR, Libya, Mali, and Sudan. In the CAR, Wagner was gifted a gold mine and exclusive timber rights in exchange for securing a government there in 2018. Globally, Wagner has cemented their name in fighting in Ukraine. Prigozhin is now singularly wealthy and funded without need for the Kremlin. As a leader, we can assume he is practiced in combat planning and crucially in supply of a combat army, and is leading a group of unknown size, full of professionals and fresh combat vets. He's a petty criminal turned criminal network CEO, turned international warlord. In the last 24 hours, it is said that the Russian army has attacked Wagner troops in Belgorod with direct rocket artillery strikes. Prigozhin has taken to social media, proclaiming that he and his troops will be seeking justice by killing anyone who stops him from getting the men responsible for the shelling. The FSB opened a case for mutiny against Prigozhin for these statements. Prigozhin was on video claiming that he and his troops were in Rostov on their way to Moscow. Prigozhin is said to have claimed, "If anyone gets in our way, we will destroy everything. We extend our hand to everyone. We move forward, we are going all the way." In Moscow, military vehicles were seen on central city streets. Has Prigozhin actually taken off the loyalty ring of Vladimir Putin? Has the Kremlin turned against Putin's personal chef? Time will tell, but if there is someone currently capable of giving Putin a true threat in the Russian sphere, Yevgeny Prigozhin seems to fit the necessary traits. Finally, a word of warning. The Russians have been known for one thing for a very long time, and that is human intel. The various services in Moscow are quite aware that the appearance of a thing can be more important than the thing itself. Right now, it might suit Moscow to look disordered. And then, it might just be, as the old saying goes, sleeping with dogs will get you fleas.